Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the One Entrepreneurship Platform, a platform that is dedicated to helping you and your family find meaning and purpose living in an automated world. So, this segment of our platform is for investing, FCS Investment Club, and basically we also talk about pre-IPOs in the case of early stage investments, but also we look at cryptocurrency for those of us who are interested in investing in cryptocurrency, education, and also looking at mining as a service to offer soon in the near future. So today we're going to get right into it because I want to talk about Boxabl, because Boxabl is a big deal. So why is it a big deal? Well, since 2020, I've been looking at Boxabl, and I was a very, very early stage investor in the initial phase when it was actually starting out to do crowdfunding, and I saw this concept. So that's just a little bit about my background, how long I've been involved in Boxabl, and I've done 4 rounds of investing into the Boxabl expansion and global domination, you could say. And as we record right now, Boxabl is actually getting ready to close in less than 28 days their 4th round of funding. Again, for those of you who don't know, Boxabl was on the previous round, so that's why it is 4 to you, maybe 3, 1, or 2, based on when you got started looking at Boxabl. So the reason I'm doing this video is actually been very busy as I always am, and someone asked a very important question on my YouTube channel, and it was a question about, they did the research, and basically what they found is that the partner that Boxabl has partnered up with is D.R Horton. But D.R Horton has some lawsuits going against itself that's pending currently. And he asked my 2 cents on that, and I'm going to give it because I don't have your information in front of me to give a shout out to you, but just wanted to let you know up front that, if you're looking for negative, and I'm not saying that you are, sir, if you're looking for negative or you're looking for positive of what you search for in the internet, you always find it. Same thing with me. And I couldn't care less. As an entrepreneur and investor, your integrity and what you believe in and what you stand for is all that matters. But when we're talking about big business, when you start becoming globally, when I say globally in the sense that you start making billions, and now Boxabl from $46 million initially when they started this process 2 years ago to where today they are $3 billion. Next round, after this round, the 5th round, they'll probably be like 6, if not over 10 to $12 billion and growing. So you're going to find hiccups. You're going to find people who always want to complain and BS, because everybody's looking for a crybaby. But I'm not here to defend nor endorse any lawsuits because I don't know what these lawsuits are about, but I'm just saying in general. Because as you continue to expand your business internationally, globally, you will find yourself with hiccups, whether that people complain this and that, or mistakes that companies made, but it is transparent. And so I saw the same thing when I first looked at DR Horton, and, of course, like everybody else, you start with the snap. And like I said in my message to this person who asked me that question, I'm not worried. And the reason I'm not worried is because that I already told you the first reason, but Boxabl does not need D.R Horton, and that's my personal 2 cents. I believe D.R Horton needs Boxabl more because some of the articles I read about this lawsuit that they're having or issues they're having is, back in the real estate bubble, there was a lot of companies in China was building so fast these walls, these fabricated walls, that they sucked, and it was getting people sick, catching cancer. Now that I'm saying what D.R Horton is doing is the same thing. I don't know. I didn't go too deep in the lawsuits. I just saw some of the issues of cases, that people address in these lawsuits. But what I was saying is that, these are the faults of growing so fast, and sometimes people don't grow with, whether integrity or lack of integrity, or skip steps or take shortcuts. And that's sometimes you see in big business. Again, these are not what I'm saying about DR Horton. These are general statements I'm making. So because of those factors that I understand in business, I am not worried because Boxabl, folks, is here to solve a major problem. They solve molding issues. They solve water damage issues. You know, they could withstand tests of that. So as an investor, folks, when I looked at Boxabl in the very beginning, I'm like, whoa, this company is going to change the game. I didn't look at this as some stupid tiny house thing that people will make fun of or think is just a gimmick. I looked at a solid investment potential of how this company was going to change the game. And so when you see the issues facing Boxabl, you see the complaints about DR Horton, what you look at is why did they look at Boxabl as a solution. It's not that it's going to tank, as a person asks that question, the feeling good of thing. When you do partnerships, collaborations, it's to complement you or the other company in what you are lacking. If you both are the same people, if you both are a couple married and you're the same damn people, your ass is mowing. Your ass will get stuck doing the same thing. And even when I was writing my entrepreneurship book, Why Entrepreneurship, What Is It All About? There was a very portion of the book that reflected that. Because if you come from the same perspective, you never have a chance to look at someone else's perspective. Now, given that, I'm talking about the heterosexual couples here, a man and a woman. So there's a difference in, okay, I'm from a male's perspective of how I think, and you are coming from a woman's perspective in a relationship of how I think. So that collaboration needs to happen to see different perspectives of things. Hope that helps you, because Boxabl solves a lot of issues in housing. Time is one of the most important issues. And when you have a D.R Horton who's doing massive amount of jobs across the country, well, it makes a difference when you could speed up the time frame of building a house in an hour. And also, I don't know if you've been looking like I have, especially in Massachusetts, efficiently modular style houses is the thing of the 21st century. Not this big ass housing that people are accustomed to. People are having less children and therefore, and more deep into the city. So this Boxabl concept actually solves, besides the poverty issues and homelessness and lack of housing, this company solves major problems. So when you look at a global construction company like Boxabl or DR Horton getting to the level of a Boxabl with trillions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, from 2019 they showed in this screenshot here of the global construction marketplace. 2019 was $12.7 trillion. 2023 is expected to be, next year, folks, $15.4 trillion. And again, housing is old and it needs to be modernized. So let me get to the core point of what I want to make to emphasize my point. So I have a video that I haven't released yet for real estate people. One of the biggest things that I saw is understanding, because there's so many. If you watch my main video when I first recorded it, I spent an hour and a half, folks. Detail for those who don't know anything about Boxabl from a business perspective and the potentials of what you could do with a Boxabl. Watch my video. It's a private video. I haven't released it to the public. You could go to my invest.frederickcapital.com and you'll actually see that, and just watch that. It's a free video, free access. You could actually watch that. And I break down a lot of details of some of the major issues with what Boxabl is doing to solve housing issues. So when you look at the foundation of how Boxabl CEOs think, I understand, because some of the things I talk about before they even aired these videos out, I was saying the same thing. Mainly Henry Ford's philosophy of the assembly line. They've combined several philosophies of business together. So DR Horton is not going to be the first or the last company that has issues, and as well as Boxabl as they grow. And that's why, I'm in the crypto space. I have people that talk about, oh, why is this project not moving fast enough? Why is the crypto value is down? It's not up where the rest of the altcoins are. And these are real world projects that's developing solid solutions. And if you're doing something that's legitimate, solid, you take your time to do it the right way. I'm the same way in how I do business, how I develop my businesses. I don't try to rush to things just to make a quick buck. So therefore, doing it the right way, but you're going to miss some steps. So here's the other second part to the answer. 71 potential franchise factories. Boxabl is going to have a global scale partnership globally. So again, I'm not worried about one company. I'm not worried about multiple companies. Again, like I said, you're growing, you have partnerships. You know, everybody has someone, a knucklehead, somebody in their family that they, oh, man, I gotta see my uncle, I gotta see my aunt, I gotta this and that. You know, so it's no different from a company. So here it is, 71 potential franchise factories. You don't think they're gonna have some hiccups? And then you got over in Europe, China, what's the company here? Parts of Africa, Nigeria, Egypt, and so on. You don't think you're gonna have hiccups? Different language barriers, different equipments, hiccups. So Boxer was taking time, but also creating an assembly line like Henry Ford did. But understand this: Brazil is another country. They are creating distribution partnerships, and so Boxabl is doing it the right way. They're not overextending themselves, trying to be the end all to everybody, and in the sense of doing it all by themselves. And that's, again, a very powerful education and training to understand in business. 21st century is about leveraging yourself. Stop trying to be perfect and good at everything else. Learn to outsource yourself, and they understand the master of outsourcing like Henry Ford. And that's how Henry Ford was able to create the wealth that he created generationally, because he created the assembly line system. But the key thing that I've learned years later is not only did he create the assembly line within the company, he created the franchises that Boxabl was doing too. Henry Ford created subcontract partnerships as well to assemble and design and actually build the parts that he needs. And all he was, like they are doing with this now second manufacturing plant, the core hub of where everything is coming together and being put together. That is genius, folks. When you understand the vision behind two gentlemen who built a company based on business principles. And that is the same thing I am doing myself. Anybody right now who's trying to start a business in the 21st century, and if you ignore COVID, you ignore what's going to happen in the digital world that we are moving to, you are fooling yourself and you're going to fail in business. I'm guaranteeing you that. There's a different way in the 21st century how you need to conduct business, how you need to do business to be successful. And it's about working smarter and using leverage and using AI technology to help you build the systems. I'm a systems dependent person than a people dependent person today in business. See that? Big difference in how the 20th century and before that have built businesses, where you rely 100% people and mistakes, and you have so many moving parts, and then you try to have everybody do all these things, versus getting people skill set at what they are best at doing. A robot is best at its position in the manufacturing plant to do one damn thing only. But we fail to understand because we're trying to squeeze labor out of every damn human being who's in that workforce per day. Big shift in thinking in the 21st century. And Boxabl understands that, because they bought into the philosophies, the Ray Krocs, the Henry Fords of the world, and many great leaders before them, and understanding that is how you build a very powerful and very efficient business model. And that's why when I look at overall what Boxabl was going to do with the franchisees, with their real estate partnerships, and even as I watched a recent video of a lady who actually ordered a Boxabl, they are even offering you to have subcontract in your state that knows your law in your state to actually set up the plumbing systems. They understand the game, folks. Global partnerships, instead of trying to monopolize the whole industry for themselves. They don't need to do that. You will create more bottlenecks by trying to be the end all to everything. Because like I struggled in the very beginning of building my companies, is that, Dimitri, what is it that you do best? and I sell information. That is what I do best. So therefore, trying to do video, trying to do audio, even as I was trying to record this video earlier, I had a hiccup, you know. Technical issues will happen. Mistakes will happen. DR Horton is not going to be the last one, or just because they're the first one in. Again, as I close out, when you grow big, expect the hiccups, expect the flaws. But again, Boxabl, just like many effective partnerships, is to solve a solution to a problem that you may have in your own business, in your own life. And that's why when you even yourself hire a company to do something in your house, to do something in your car, is because you're asking for the expertise. There's many other ones you could have gone to, whether it was price, whether it's power. But remember that D.R Horton, who's seen Boxabl, if you watch the interviews, they came to them several times after looking at what they had going on. And they say, you know what? These guys, this company solved a major issue. And it's also the right thing, because if they just ignorantly ignore their lawsuits, ignore the ongoing complaints they have, then they're not going to be an effective company. They may be making billions of dollars, but it's half-ass billions of dollars, versus creating a better cookie-cutter process and also creating massive wealth at the same time for the next generation. Not old money, new money, and how business will be conducted. And they see that. They see, just like I saw, if you watch my private video, the overall vision that I see, because it's not about a house, a tiny house, just a Boxabl. It's about how Henry Ford, how Ray Kroc, they all changed the game of their own industry. And Boxabl is going to change, and it is already doing it. Because all eyes, the next 5th round, all eyes will be on Boxabl. Because when you look at, and I'm going to close with this, because 4th round is closing right now in the next few weeks. Watch this. I've already called 20 million to 22 million. By the end of August, my numbers will have passed, because I always make conservative numbers. They will probably be close to 25, if not 24 million closing out, because I've seen this before. The franchise, every time they close around, and again, there's more eyes watching Boxabl. The frenzy is going to go crazy, because in the last week, Boxabl has already raised, and that's what they were doing, the standard, about $1 million a week, if not more. $500,000 sometimes, but on average, when it's flowing, it's already at 8842. That's 8,842 investors, folks. They'll probably get to 10,000 by the time this round closes. They'll probably hit 24 million in closing. But also understand this, Boxabl is diversified. What do you mean? They are diversified in 3 ways in receiving funds. Never seen that be done before in pre-IPO investing. They are taking investments directly from their own website. They are taking investments right now from the Start Engine platform. And they are taking investments from another investment platform that I will not share, publicly. They've just announced it, they talked about it, but they have a secret weapon. That's why if you watch my other video, is Boxabl double dipping. That's what I was talking about. So watch that video if you care, because you'll see they know what they're doing. They are changing the game. So they've raised, even though some people who's closed-minded always have a negative thing to say, hint, 68 million, 0.5. Oh, they didn't get to that 68.5 million. Listen, don't be a fool. Be an investor, be educated, be wise. Boxabl has raised over $120 million thus far. $100 million on their own website. And if you're watching right here, Start Engine platform, 4.9 million raised, and it took 6+ months, almost a year, for them to do that last round. And even longer the previous round as a regulation C. Some of you don't even understand the big difference. Regulation A just opened the doorways and it's more flexible. But they still made it happen. So don't be fooled that, oh, 68.5. And also, smart investors, those of you who are still listening to me, still on the sideline, guess what? You're just making yourself look like a fool, because they are closing around because they understand momentum, and they're going to make those who haven't make a decision yet, you're still on the fence, pay the price later on. When the 5th round comes, here again, another bold prediction. Boxabl will either be 2x to $1.60, if not $2.40, $2.40, if not more. They will probably, valuation-wise, probably be $12 billion. Not $6 billion, $12 billion. That's a fact. And you'll see that in the next year when this round opens up again for the next 5th round, if that happens. Because again, investments, like I said in my trainings, they don't always come back. They don't have to. See, Boxabl has made enough money. They don't need to dilute their shares more. So if you don't understand or have a clue, that's why they're closing early. They don't need you no more. They've already proved proof of concept. And when I say you, I'm talking about the you who still sit in the sideline, think this is a gimmick, think this is a scam, this is a stupid hustle. You don't even understand housing, what's going on in housing right now. And that's why you're saying, and still stuck. Many people were still stuck saying McDonald's franchise being created from scratch. 2 local damn men who started a burger franchise. Learn your history. This is history repeating again. Starbucks, all these other restaurants, Ray Kroc changed the game when he saw the potential of these guys. Watch the show, watch the training on the History Channel about the history. Go to Amazon. I put those things on my training website. Watch the information if you lack vision. I'm trying to help somebody right now, change their family tree. This company is going to change and revolutionize how real estate will ever be done moving forward. China right now is copying Boxabl and what they're already doing. I just saw a new video of what they're actually doing, trying to make 11-story high. Boxabl is already working on that. So don't be fooled to think it's about a gimmick little tiny house that you are watching being played. I have no need for that. Well, you lack vision to understand the need for that because it's stackable. You don't need to show all your hands when you create generational wealth. You don't need to show all your expertise and talents when you got it under control. It takes vision to see and change the direction of where you are going. And many of us lack the vision, and that's why I'm here to provide some support and training. And now you could get consultation from me, because hear this, folks, I'm done. Even though many of you have signed up for Boxabl as a pre-IPO, many of you, 2 little simple things. Many of you will, and I'm calling out 1/3, if not 2/3. 1/3 will fail and lose their investment because they will not confirm. They will get too many junk mails. They think it's junk mails, but let me tell you, there's important emails. And one of the most important emails as this round closes, the last 2 weeks of September, you better pay attention to your investment for those who already invested. Because what's going to happen if there's major changes in the company's organization structure of boards of directors, you better confirm that information. This is not no gimmick, child play, not a stock buy. You're not in the stock market yet, folks. Please understand that for those who are first-time investors or so-called investors, because you're not quite an investor yet. You better study how this game is played or get some training from me, because there's a lot you don't even understand. Because if you fail to confirm the changes that they made within the company, you will lose your round. They will cancel you out. It's a SEC regulation requirement, because you made changes that you have not informed the public who are shareholders to be in this company. Hence, therefore, you as an individual investor, you need to confirm and agree with them in the changes that they will make. If you don't accept it, your investments will go back to you straight and narrow. You disagree, you didn't confirm, just like any software, you didn't want that checkbox to be checked. Well, guess what? You ain't gonna install that software. You ain't gonna have that money be invested, fully invested, for them to take it and hold it until they go public. hence they're going to give it back to you. First time in history when mankind refuses to have, please take my money. This is one of those investments you don't want the company SEC regulations force Boxabl to give their money that you invested with them to give it back to you in your bank account. Trust me. Part 2, 2/3. There's other important things, again, for those who are amateur investors, and that's why I say amateur, because you're not fully invested, because this is something that just popped out in your head. Someone like me put a video out there, but you fail to understand other things. There's more to it. I'm just telling you these 2 things if you want more consultation. I'm trying to save somebody from being locked out and making mistakes like somebody I know personally who did the same thing a few years ago. This time around, they know better. So I'm telling you up front, free of charge. Second thing, amongst many things, you better be checking out your settings. And I'll end with that. Thank you for your time, and I hope that you are blessed and empowered by the knowledge that I share freely online, and that is something I don't do often, but I believe in the global trend and desire for us to be financially free, because what's coming, many of you are not even ready for. And therefore, please take heed to the knowledge that's accessible to you online and make the smart decision for your family and determine whether or not this is really a good investment for you and your family moving forward. Again, I always compare Boxabl to Airbnb. You already know the story, Airbnb, but it took 10 to 12 years. Do you have the patience to wait even 5 years? God bless. If this video was helpful to you, please rate it with a thumbs up or thumbs down.